LeBron James just sent a serious message, and following multiple moves being made, including LeBron opting in to his deal this season, some shocking new comments have come out revealing that not only has LeBron James and Rich Paul sent a serious message to LA and their team, but his future in LA, despite opting into his contract, is not as certain as everyone thinks. So to break down exactly what that means, as well as a few other moves, including one surrounding Jordan Goodwin. Folks, a lot to go over today, but before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Folks, this is a little bit of a bittersweet video here. Obviously, today's the decision day, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're still waiting on Dorian Finney-Smith, and as that happens, we'll of course have a full video covering that. However, there is some information surrounding LeBron James that has just dropped. Now, let's start with this. Now, this was literally about a minute ago. Breaking: Los Angeles Lakers LeBron James is opting into his $52.6 million player option. Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul told ESPN. But so we all thought, okay, this is good news. He's gonna, everything's good. However, there was two quotes that came out immediately following him opting in that makes his future in LA a little bit, a lot more actually questionable. So here was the first quote. Rich Paul adds, LeBron knows the Lakers are building for the future, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. And we have another quote to go over here in a minute, but let's just start with this. It's very rare that you'll find within a Shams tweet of a report dropping an immediate quote. Of course, that's the Rich Paul effect. Things like that happen. He's basically saying, if the Lakers don't go all in to fix their team this offseason and to go for a championship, he is perfectly fine opting out of that deal. Or rather, not opting out, opting into the deal and then requesting a trade. And we know how the NBA works now. If LeBron requests a trade, he's going to get traded. And this is, it almost took a crazy turn from what we all initially thought was going to happen here. And again, he says they know the Lakers are building for the future, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all, which is a little bit crazy. And let's dive into some more quotes here. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron James at this stage of his life and this stage of his career. So, folks, it seems like based on all of these quotes that he is basically calling out the Lakers here directly and saying, if you don't go all in and trade all your future assets, even though they don't have a ton of them, but go fully in for a center, go fully in for winning now, then they will. And the Lakers, LeBron will request a trade, which is something that we haven't really heard throughout a stage of his, Los Angeles Lakers career, at least. And I mean, it is a very interesting, I guess, bittersweet moment here. Like, 52.6 million is a lot. And of course, if they would have let LeBron walk, or if he didn't opt into his deal, they wouldn't have saved any money anyway with the way that everything works. However, by him opting in, yes, he's going to be a Laker at least for the start of next season, we would assume. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind here. Again, you take this quote in its own context and it makes it seem like he wants to leave. You can see some of the comments here, and there's a lot of them immediately flooding in. Farewell tour in Cleveland. He's never playing for another team. However, the third one here is pretty interesting. If LeBron didn't take his player option, you would think this one last year with LA, but now this makes you think he has more in the tank, and this could be with another team. By opting into his no trade clause, or by opting in rather to his player option, he keeps his no trade clause. It actually sounds like he's gearing up for a trade request, either that or retire. Now, he's not going to retire. There's no way no way he's going to do that. He wants to win. And I think the most realistic outcome here is that he evaluates the rest of this offseason, how the Lakers team looks, maybe plays the first bit of the season with the Lakers. And if things aren't lining up well, or even if before the season starts, he doesn't think that the team has prepared themselves good enough for a championship and he doesn't see a chance to win, then he will request a trade. And that seems to be kind of what the outcome is here, which is some very different. Like, you very rarely hear this from someone who opts into a deal. Usually it's all perfect. He's going to, return all these different things. This one is a lot different than that. It seems like, he's just taking an interesting approach in this. And I mean, it makes sense. He's trying to win at this stage of his career. And it's a little bit, I'm intrigued now to see, because this is a lot of pressure on Rob Pelinka. It's a lot of pressure on everybody now to do either A, what the front office thinks is right by LeBron James, but B, building a competitive team. You can see this here. This is kind of a summary of some of the actual details. By opting in, at least the other moves, it limits the team's spending power in free agency. The Lakers are already operating with the second apron hard cap because they traded for cash in the NBA draft. And depending on other factors, they may wind up electing to use a first apron hard cap to pursue certain moves this offseason. But longer term, the question now is how much longer LeBron and the Lakers plan to maintain their partnership. James will enter his 8th season, which is his longest uninterrupted stretch. However, by opting into his deal, James lost a chance to negotiate for the player option for the next year. And of course, it's very interesting. And the bottom paragraph here, the Lakers also have passed a significant cap space this summer in 2026. So it's going to be very, very interesting here. And I'm LeBron's about to turn, or he's going to be turning 41. How does he value everything here? Rich Paul doesn't say stuff just to say stuff. Things are taking a turn that not many fans expected. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. Do you think LeBron's going to leave? Do you think he's going to stay? It now becomes that much more interesting, and we'll keep you up to date with all the latest there. But let's dive into some more, I guess, slightly, positive. And again, Trevor Lane here saying the quote's interesting. Some more slightly positive things. The Lakers have officially picked up their $2.3 million team option for Jordan Goodwin. His contract now becomes lightly guaranteed for 2025 and 2026. And of course, these were the big decisions today. Jordan Goodwin, Dorian Finney-Smith, and LeBron. Two of them have been taken care of, at least at the time of recording. And Dorian Finney-Smith can, opt in or out any moment. Once that happens, of course, we'll have a video at some point. But focusing on Jordan Goodwin now a little bit. You see here, as expected, Jordan Goodwin is back with the Lakers for next season. Goodwin shot a career-high 38% from three last year while earning a reputation as a tenacious defender. And I don't think that this was super unexpected. Most of us thought that the player option would be picked up. It's going to be interesting to see. Again, it's a light guarantee for 2025, 2026, so next season. But I'm more curious to see how he actually factors into the rotation. Again, there's rumors about them picking up guys like Nickeil Alexander, especially if Dorian Finney-Smith walks. What do they do with some of their new picks? That Adu Thiero, who's not shooting guard or anything like that, but just how everything's going to work with their draft picks that they have made. And of course, Jordan Goodwin is not going to interrupt Adu Thiero's playing time, but at the same time, takes up a roster spot, things like that, especially with some of the Exhibit 10 and two-way guys that they sign, Eric Dixon, RJ Davis. It's going to be interesting on that front. And people seem to be pretty happy overall. You can see this here. When Goodwin arrived here, I asked what he was looking to show, and he basically said shooting, shot 41.1%, or 41.4% rather, from threes, 41.4 on the Lakers, third highest percentage on the team. And of course, we know the Jordan Goodwin story, signed a two-way deal, got converted, all these different things. Makes too much sense. Too cheap of a deal to decline. Will far outkick that contract. Hoping Koloko is back in the team as well. And of course, Koloko's going to be an interesting one there as well. But for Jordan Goodwin, it's going to be interesting to see how he actually contributes to the team and what goes into a lot of these, final roster construction decisions as the Lakers. I believe Koloko is an RFA now. So as it all starts to come in, because you look here, Christian Koloko is in via a two-way. So there's also that. Jordan Goodwin is a team option. Eric Dixon via two-way. Adu Thiero via draft. Just double checked as well. Yeah. So Koloko was also offered a two-way deal. So he was, they gave him the two-way qualifier. So he is back as well. He'll be an RFA, like I mentioned, on July 1st. So we assume he's going to, return unless he gets a crazy offer, which won't happen. But again, Eric Dixon, Jordan Goodwin, Christian Koloko are back. LeBron James, his tweet was made before that, but LeBron James is a player option, so he's back as well in theory, but again, bearing trade. And Dorian Finney-Smith is the big one. I would suspect he opts out and pursues other options, which is going to be very, very, not scary, but interesting. But again, we'll keep you up to date as that happens later today. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. Some interesting news this morning regarding LeBron James, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.